Welcome to Live, Let Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live
Let
Thrive. What's up, Myka, man?
I'm chilling, Stevie Stacks. How you doing, man?
Doing great on this, today's a Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir. Going up on a Tuesday.
Going up on a Tuesday. And this episode 322 of your favorite short-term, mid-term, long-term rental podcast in the world. Coming at you from Fort Worth and Arlington, Texas. That is Live, Let Thrive, guys.
Live, letting, and thriving. Let's go.
I got something real quick for you.
Okay. We can't hear it. It's coming. It must be playing in your headphones. We can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear that?
Nah. You must be on Bluetooth or something.
Okay. Got to play the Contra theme.
Okay.
Okay. So this is, I had told you, I texted you earlier this week. This podcast is already off the rails, but I texted you earlier this week, and I said I had this epiphany. I usually get these epiphanies when I'm driving, right?
Yeah.
And my epiphany was, I just sent you. I said up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. And every dude that grew up in our generation knows what that means, right?
Yeah. I immediately sent it to you. You were like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
It's the cheat code on a video game back in the Nintendo days called Contra.
Yeah.
The original Contra. And what that would do, if you got the controller up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start, it would give you unlimited men. Like you could die a million times, it don't matter. So you could beat the game, you know? So you had all these unlimited dudes. You didn't have the three that it usually gives you or whatever. So we early on, I told you, you know, that was a pivotal moment for our generation, you know?
Yeah.
Was when we found out, oh, there's cheat codes to this stuff, man. And how I tie it all into what we do is this way, because I'll say it like this. Generation like our parents, right?
Yeah.
Hard work, you know, go to work every day. Don't ever call in sick. Work for the same job all your life, and hopefully have enough at the end of retirement, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a generation before them or during them, kind of, it might have worked out a little bit. But as we started seeing, as our parents got older, and a lot of them were broke, you know, a lot of parents we ended up taking care of them. It's fine. It's just it happens, right? As taxes and the government take a big chunk of your monies, and so tying that all around, we saw that how that didn't really my parents anyways, right? I saw how that didn't really work out too good. That plan, just hopefully a job takes care of you the rest of your life, and you have enough money to pay for stuff, and any unforeseen events come along, you know, hospital bills or being out for whatever, and or losing a house, or you know, circumstances, right? And I've been through a lot of that with my folks, you know. Shout out to my folks, but we saw. I think a lot of us saw that that's not really that ain't working no more. And so Contra, in a way, taught us, oh, there's cheat codes to this life, not just video games, right? But like there can be shortcuts to getting things done, and I won't say shortcuts. I just say maybe more efficient ways to do it, right? And so I wanted to make that the theme of the show today, you know, cheat codes that our generation learned. And that was our very first cheat code that I ever knew. Maybe there's others, but whatever. That was the first one I ever found out about. And I thought everybody was the coolest thing, you know. And it's like a pop culture phenomenon. There's been songs made of that, you know.
Yeah.
And references and popular culture and T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. But to me, that was the first cheat code. And yeah, I wanted to kind of like base this show off of cheat codes, how we've used them to get ahead, and why it's not a bad thing.
Man, happy you brought up cheat codes. That's a good one. Like things that like our parents. I would say there's two types of things. There's things our parents didn't teach us, and then there's things our parents. In my instance, my parents taught me, but I just didn't listen, or they didn't say it in a way that I understood it. One of those cheat codes that I didn't listen to was buying a duplex for my first house, but they weren't explaining it. My mom didn't explain it till I can get it. Like she was like, just buy a duplex. And, she was trying to say house hack without saying house hack.
Yeah.
But so that's one of them. And then another cheat code is really, because now we've talked about this since the beginning of our podcast that I learned about was credit card hacking. That's been a big, huge cheat code for me in my life because I can basically travel for free. You know what I mean? So that cheat code's like been super helpful for me. Like I just got a rental car for a discounted rate, went to Arkansas, seen the duplexes, came back, didn't have to use my own car. It's a bunch of cheat codes, but those are two. One is credit card hacking, and then real estate investing. My parents were real estate investors, but they didn't take it as serious as me, so I just kind of took it to the next level. So, what are some other cheat codes for you?
So definitely, yeah. To me, in life, the biggest one is the real estate thing. And house hacking. You brought that up, but in a different way than the duplex. How I did it was I was hopping house to house, right?
Yeah.
So my first house I bought, I lived there for a few years, and then got married and all that stuff, and then me and my wife lived there for a year. I told her my plan. I said we're gonna hop after we're here for, I think it was a year. It might not even have been a whole year. Yeah, it might around a year. So I told her we're gonna move to the next house.
Smart.
And then I had told this story before. She's fresh from Mexico, so she's like, to her it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we do here in America. Just moved every year, moved to another house.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did until we accumulated 4 houses, and 3% down every time when you house hack, when you jump into the next house and you turn the previous one into a rental, you only got to put 3% down. So we're buying big houses for like 4 or 5 grand, it's beautiful. And so, of course, you reach a point where, around your 4th or 5th house where you have to kind of like, the bank won't let you do that no more. You have to kind of put 20% down for the next rental property. You can't hop anymore unless like you move to Houston or somewhere far enough away to give you a reason to hop to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
So, they did that to you?
Well, we found this house, fell in love with it, so we stayed here. I might have been able to hop one more time, but even shout out to Khan. Remember Khan? Yeah, he's a mentor of mine. He said, yeah, after you get to like about 4 or 5 houses, the banks want to see something. And I talked to a few of the mortgage, the Wells Fargo guys, So I was dealing with the big banks back then. And he said, yeah, I called him and said, I even looked at my job at the time. Man, if I transferred, I said, we can move. I told my wife, it was just me and her at the time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and we had Lucy, our little one. And then I said, we can move to Houston. I put in a what's it called? A transfer, and then work there a year, get us another house, and then move back. I was even thinking of that. Because to Wells Fargo, if it's a job thing, you can get the next house. We'll give you a loan for the next house to put 3% down. But like I said, you reach a point where you're gonna have to start. If you're not gonna do that, hop around the state or the country, 100-mile rule, whatever it was. And you don't want to do that. I mean, it's great if you want to do that and you're young and you can do that. Do that
for real.
But if you're married and start having the kiddos and stuff, it's harder to do. So then you have to start putting 20% down. If you're gonna go through traditional banks, you're gonna have to put 20% down. So that was the biggest cheat code in my life, which I didn't know until Khan told me I could do that. And so that was a pivotal moment, and it was a huge cheat code.
Yeah, that's funny. We talked about house hacking because what I always tell people, the fastest way to accumulate wealth in America is through house hacking. Like either if you're doing it Steve's way, or if you're doing it through buying a house, renting out the rooms, or if you're living in a duplex. The reason why is so I went to see the duplexes this weekend, because we're getting ready to close on those next month. So we went to see them, and like they were 3 beds, 2 baths. But the only thing I don't like about them, one, as soon as you open the door, you have to go up the stairs. Oh. So you're on top of each other. I'm like, crap, it's on top. So, but me and Mahogany were sitting there. I'm like, dang. She goes, if shit ever hits the fan, we can just always come live here in one of these, pay half the rent, and let the kids sit for a year, and then we go get some more houses. I was like, yeah, because they're gentrifying this area. So yeah, I'm always, that is a backup plan, but it's all the way in Arkansas. But I was like, something to look into. Yeah, man, that is definitely one of the biggest house hacks, biggest life hacks is house hacking.
I'll tell you another big what's it called? Cheat code.
Yeah.
And of course we talk about it a lot on this show is the arbitrage game.
Uh-huh.
That's a huge cheat code because when we were told about this, I think all the way back to Adam James. Adam
Mhm.
James came on the show,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and he was telling us about this and about how you can rent someone's house and then furnish it and then throw it up on Airbnb and make money. And the way he was talking about it, I
Mhm.
guess we've heard that word bounced around, but he explained it to us real good on the show.
Yeah.
And he said that it's the best because, for example, it goes in one of the houses I do the arbitrage at, a pipe burst underneath the house and caused all this damage. I called the landlord and come out and fix this. He's gonna have to $20,000 out of his pocket. It ain't my house. And he was telling us all the big advantages of it, and of
Yeah.
course we ended up doing arbitrage. And now I still, and there's still a lot of people that want to do arbitrage, right?
Yeah.
And shout out to my friend Susanna in Canada, and Micah says Susie. He said they're Canadians and they're forming teams and they're over here. Oh, we're gonna arbitrage all across the America, because there's like it's hard to build wealth in Canada. Apparently, they
Mm.
tax you to death, right? And they have
Yeah.
capital gains taxes that are crazy. They don't want you to get ahead, so they look outward to see where they can get ahead, right? And so they're
Right.
looking over here and they're making these beautiful arbitrages, and that's great. And they don't have to put, if you're gonna buy a house traditionally nowadays, a $300,000 house is probably regular price, right? You're gonna $60,000-$70,000 out of pocket to buy it, but you can go rent that same $300,000 house for $2,500 a month, and you're in the game and you're making money and making the spread. So that's a huge cheat code.
Yeah. Arbitraging. Yeah, because one cheat code that was really good to me was the arbitrage in my timeshare. That was a good cheat code. That was really good for me, man. I used to make like 15,000 a month doing that until it got saturated. Really, honestly, it's till Airbnb started changing up their rules. That's really what it was. So that was a good cheat code. I'm trying to think of some other cheat codes I used to have. I have a bunch of them. I know.
I know you're
'Cause
big. I know your biggest one right now. How could they be?
which one is it?
Cheat GPT. I mean, Chat GPT.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest. That's yeah. If you're an entrepreneur, that's the biggest cheat code out there. Like that thing will run everything for you. Like I've been listening to Brandon Turner. That's all they talk about. Man, ChatGPT. Like I was like, yeah, what it can create now is just crazy. Like marketing, it basically owns that. So yeah, that's a big cheat code.
They,
That's a
they
bunch of. Go ahead.
real quick. There was an article about these college students that were trying to get a
Mhm.
refund. Right? They ain't gonna give you no refund, but saying because and the reason was because they found out that the teacher was making all their lessons and tests using ChatGPT.
Wow, I can believe
So
it.
they're
It
paying
works.
hundreds of thousands of dollars for college and these teachers are just going on
I can see
ChatGPT.
it.
Here's your work. Here's your test. I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for this shit.
I,
So it's
I can believe it, man. As long as there's a good ROI.
which takes me
Hey,
to
oh,
the yeah.
speaking of
Go ahead.
cheat code, okay, go ahead. I think I know where you're going.
Nah, yeah, I was gonna go into the whole non-cheat code of going to college 4 years and getting into $100,000 in debt. That's a reverse cheat code. But go ahead,
Oh,
you.
I don't know. That's where I was gonna go about cheat codes in college. Like, my thing is, if you're gonna go for 100K in debt, at least go be a doctor or something. But yeah, there is
8 years then.
flaws.
8 years then. 8 or 10 years.
Yeah, you're gonna be in there a minute.
That'll be
So,
200. Yeah, it'd be a lot.
so my whole thing is like that's a cheat code because it's kind of flawed people's way of thinking, but I do see how it's very effective in other cultures and how they have massive wealth by preaching education first, and then you go and build build your empire, whatever it is. So like I work like every couple of weeks. I have a real estate meetup on Saturday mornings, or Saturday afternoons, and like most of the people, they're from like Nigeria, India, and they have this. They make like $200,000 a year being programmers or whatever it is, and then they take their shit and build their real estate empire. And I'm like, okay, I see the effectiveness of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just college has to be broken down in a cheat code way. I'll say that. It wasn't broke down to us in no cheat code way at all.
No, no. So don't go spend 100,000 and get a liberal arts degree or something stupid. Be a programmer, engineer.
Yeah, man. Don't go be $100K to study rocks, bro. Like, come on, bro. I'm serious. Like, I know somebody out there is like, we need people that study rocks. Like, yeah, but it ain't paying, bro. But yeah, you know how people are, bro. But yeah.
So yeah, that was the thing that was told to us back growing up. You have to go to college. You got to go 4 years at least, and then you go get you a great job, hopefully. But like I said, like you said, be very specific with what you're going to study. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and wasting a lot of money and a lot of debt that you can't wash away, man.
Well, you can. Thanks to cheat code Biden, you can wash it away.
Well, not everybody though.
Yeah, not everybody.
Not everybody.
You have to be public servant. You can wash it away if you're a public servant.
And that's the thing. You're gonna go get a $50,000 public servant job, or you're gonna go make 200,000, or I mean 100,000 is getting something better, but you're doing it to erase your debt. But I don't know. It's just a weird deal.
Yeah, it is. Well, also, it depends on what kind of public servant you are, because mine can get erased because I'm technically considered a public servant.
Are you really?
Dude, yeah.
How so?
Because I control. Well, I can't say what I do, but basically, I control systems of. I control emergency systems.
Okay, so did you get your debt erased?
Yeah, I'm on the plan of it. All I have to do is make like X amount of more payments. Mahogany's got like 3 more years, and hers will be wiped out completely.
That's awesome.
If she would have stayed, it would have already been wiped out. But we both left. So yeah, it depends though. But that ain't something I would bank on with people.
Well, I'll tell you a bunch of other cheat codes that we don't even think about. You and I take for granted. Okay. These are simple ones. Number 1, paying somebody to cut your damn yard. Growing up, we had to push the damn lawnmower, right?
Yeah.
Our parent. That was our parent. I give them props. That was their cheat code, making us push the damn lawnmower outside, right? Sneezing my ass off and eyes watery and all that crap, and doing a terrible job cutting the yard. So that was their.
Yeah, those are cheat codes.
The cheat code was having kids to do that crap for you, and us. We're like, once we figured out when we're older, we're like, oh, I could pay somebody to do this. And
straight up.
I mean, mowing your yard. Think about it. 110 degrees in the summertime here in Texas, right? After getting done with the yard, you're wiped out. You're just passed out on the sofa. Just wipe. There goes a whole day, right? Whereas you can pay someone to do it. They knock it out in 30 minutes or whatever. You pay them $40, and then you don't have to worry about it. They do a way better job than we could do, right? And because they're professionals, and you could use that day that would have been just a wasted day to go get that money.
Yeah, you can. That's the way to do it. Because I definitely pay to get my yard cut. $40, and it gets you all your time back.
It's a done dizzle.
Yeah,
another cheat code I've incorporated was I pay for house cleanings now.
Yeah, that's a big one. I need to get my lady back because that's a big one. Man, I miss my lady Armenia. Man, she used to come in here, dust all this stuff off. Yeah, definitely get that. That's a big, huge one. Bunch of time off and your house is clean. It feels all comfy. Can't beat that.
Oh yeah. You got any other cheat codes?
When it comes to you're talking about cheat codes to get your time back. Yeah, my biggest one definitely ChatGPT, credit card hacking, real estate investing.
I'll tell you one.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go. You had one.
Working from home's a big cheat code too. If you can get a job where you work from home.
Oh yeah.
Because man, I do not really spend money on gas. My gas bill's like nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that's like the biggest one. And then when I do go to the office, I go to the office 2 days a week. That's a big cheat code nowadays.
I'll tell you one that you have and I have, and it's hiring a VA. That's a huge cheat code.
Yeah. See, and some of these cheat codes are just for our, because like they're coming around for our generation. Because I was just talking about that on a call. I'm like, dude, you can get on onlinejobs.ph, all these places, Fiverr, Upwork, all whatever, and just find somebody for $5 to run your life. Like straight up, it's crazy, bro. To just run your life for real. And it's funny because I was telling my VA to do something. I was telling her to get lists and stuff together for me today to get this new thing implemented. But I got the list of what to do and the structure of it from ChatGPT, sent it over to her. So it's like, man, it really is, a lot of time saving. I'm gonna say this: there is no way, if you're an American with an internet connection, that you cannot have an efficient side hustle. There's just no way.
It's impossible not to. And I've been talking to my brother. I tell you my whole deal with my brother.
Yeah.
He got laid off and all that stuff.
How's he doing?
He's still looking, going to interviews and all that. He's not really jumping into the entrepreneurial lane. You know what I'm saying? And I just, man, dude, you don't have to pick the perfect thing. Just pick something. You can do anything, man. You can there's so many side hustles. There's so many things you could do. Yeah, it's just some people ain't about that life, man.
Dude, and it's great, bro. You can get on ChatGPT and tell you how to do a side hustle. You could tell ChatGPT your entire personality, and it'll tell you, hey, give me a few side hustles that I could do. This is what I've been doing the last 10, 20 years. This is what I like to do. This is what I get enjoyment out of. And it'll give it to you, man. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how, like at this point, I always tell people, if you're broke and miserable, it's because you want to be that way at this point. Mm-hmm. Because everyone goes through ups and downs, but you can pull yourself out of that nowadays. It's too much good stuff out there. Now, I know there's depression's real and stuff like that. Life hits you, and it definitely happens. But just like sitting around complaining every day and you're in perfect health, like those days is dead, man. These days is dead. It's so much stuff you can do. You can get on YouTube University, figure it out. Like you said, some people have it, some people don't.
Yeah. Some people aren't about the cheat codes, man. Let's see. So the VAs, that's a huge one, and that's changed my life, right?
Yeah.
And so they run my whole business. It's a beautiful thing. They search me out more business now. They do all that stuff. And it's the best. And it takes me back. You go way back in time to like who was the big movers and shakers, the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and all that stuff, right? And they were huge leaders in the industry, in the business, right? And leaders of industry, as they say. But how do they do it? They hired great people to do all the work for them, right?
Right up. People smarter than them too.
People smarter than them. And I forgot which one. And there's like a famous thing. There's I guess, Congress was bringing in one of them to, I guess, antitrust thing and all that stuff. He grew real big, right? So they're bringing him and they're grilling him and stuff like that. He goes, "Sir, you have never graduated from college. How are you able to run this massive blah, blah, blah?" He goes, I might not have the knowledge, but with one phone call, I can get the guy that does have the knowledge in here. It was that simple. So he was using cheat codes way back then, right?
Hey, Floyd Mayweather can't read that Cat in the Hat book, but he can hire people. Like he says, he hires people with degrees, which is sad. But
we're going way back. Man.
What did 50 say?
50 said,
can't read that Cat in the Hat book.
He goes, forget the ice bucket challenge. I do the Cat in the Hat challenge. Can you read this book? I'll give you $10,000 if you can read. Damn, he hit him hard, bro.
Hey man, but hey, it's a cheat code. He hires people that can read for him, right?
50 is the best troll in history of the world.
50 is the guy you never want to have beef with, bro. You've been trolling P. Diddy for years, and everything he said came to life, man. I'm like, dang.
Oh my god.
Oh man, if you have time, go to his page today. He said some funny stuff about P. Diddy, man. If you
was
have time.
was any dog in Kanye the other day?
I'm not sure. I see him dog Kanye.
About Kanye and his cousin. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
another crazy deal. Once you think that Kanye can't be more crazy,
50 will pull it out. But
so,
yeah,
and I heard what's his name? I know we're just rambling here. We're talking about cheat codes today, y'all. Um, and if you want to tie this into Airbnb, feel free if you could think of some
because I
Airbnb
just
cheat
thought of one
codes.
too.
Yeah,
Go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I just thought of one. I was going to say social media is a cheat code if you use it correctly.
Yeah, it is.
Social media is a huge cheat code. I mean, and then like all these API companies that are coming out just to integrate with Airbnb that are all cheat codes, man. It's just like the internet's a cheat code. That's basically what it is. The internet's a whole cheat code. That's really what it is, man. It's like crazy what we can all do, what we can do on the internet, and people that just don't take advantage of it.
And we've used as far as APIs, we used what's it called? Price Labs
Price Labs, yep.
for a long time now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, we back in the day we interviewed the Price Labs founders, right?
Anurag, yeah. Mr. Verma.
Wow. Yeah, we go way
Yeah.
back, man. But I think you're the one that brought Price Labs to my attention,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, you're crazy if you don't use something like Price Labs or I guess a lot of people say, well, Wheelhouse. I've never used Wheelhouse. I've never
Never used them.
used what's the other one? Beyond Pricing. What's the other one?
You
Beyond
didn't use
Pricing.
Beyond Pricing?
Man, I might have a long time ago. I might
How are
have
you
then switched to.
how are you pricing your timeshares? You're manually setting it?
No, I haven't done timeshares in a long time.
Oh,
I haven't done
okay.
timeshares in forever.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
but yeah,
Yeah, I always
guess.
use Beyond for that.
And why is that? Why did you use Beyond for
Oh
the
man,
timeshares?
it has more tweaking features than Price Labs. Like I could tell it, hey, on this day, I think Price Labs has it now, but I know why. Price Labs charges you just for having the listing up there. Beyond Pricing only charges you if there's a reservation.
That's the difference. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah. That's a cheat code within itself because if you don't want to just be paying and like you hit low season in Price Labs, Beyond Pricing is like if you don't get a reservation, we ain't charging you. And I had like 400 something listings up there on Beyond Pricing, and whenever I get a reservation, they'll charge me. So that was one big thing. And then it had a lot of calendar control too. Like, hey, on Monday through Thursday, this is the minimum price you can go to. Don't ever go below that price. So, I think Price Labs has that now, but like Beyond Pricing has it like per day, like
Hmm.
on Monday, Tuesday, things of that nature.
Yeah. So that's I mean, a pricing software, of course, that would be considered a cheat code. I mean, to us,
Yeah.
because back in the day, you had to look at everything and look at the concert calendar, football game calendar, baseball, whatever,
Yeah.
and kind of plan your pricing accordingly. And a lot of people that sorry about smart price. What's it called? Smart pricing, Airbnb.
Oh
That
yeah.
is terrible because they wouldn't recognize stuff that Price Labs or Beyond Pricing recognizes, like a Taylor Swift coming to town,
Hmm.
or a big event or football games. They would just raise it the same way every weekend and drop the price during the week. That was pretty much smart pricing Airbnb, right? And
Basically.
they've never really improved that.
Well, no, they aren't. I don't think they're going to. Their whole goal is to get you booked so they can get paid. Yeah, I mean, hey,
It's
that
smart
ain't
for them. It's smart for
yeah.
them.
Hey, that's why it's called Airbnb smart pricing. um, Airbnb ain't about to fix that one.
No, that makes sense. One thing they do allow us to do is make the rule sets, and we're happy about that because we utilize the Airbnb rule sets
Yeah, I
in,
love the rule sets.
in conjunction with the Price
Price
Labs.
labs. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Now I have a question. Now this is kind of I don't know. This is what I do have a question about. Have you heard of the new Airbnb release that just came out?
A little. Is it the one Sean was? railing about?
I
Which one is
have
this?
the Airbnb services that just got released.
Okay, services. Yes, I saw that. Well, okay.
Okay, so are you gonna allow it? So I was on LinkedIn today and I saw Mark Simpson was like, "Yeah, you better go ahead and say no to it because you don't get paid off of it, basically, and you're reliable if something happens inside your place, supposedly." Basically, Airbnb services. Let's say someone books your place. Airbnb says, "Hey, you can come to Steve's place and get a massage, whatever else. Just order it through us, and you don't get paid off of it." So
Oh, wow.
it's a cheat code for the guests, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I've been getting a lot of mixed emotions about it.
Huh. So we don't get no money. We don't get to provide the services.
No.
Well, screw that.
Yeah, it's been people been going. I've been hitting the bigger pockets forums too. A lot of people were like, "Man, hell no." But I don't think you can opt out of it unless I don't know if you can opt out of it. But like Mark Simpson said, you should be able to opt out of it, and he sent like some ways to opt out of it. I'm interested to see how that works because I mean, if they're offering the service, I mean, I would think I could raise my prices if you bring in a masseuse or whoever else a wine dinner up in my place. But yeah, check it out. It's called Airbnb Services. It just got released.
Wow. So if a Deshaun Watson rents your place,
Basically, you're liable if you. What did what did what did Steve Harvey say? And he rolls over. Yeah, it might be a problem.
if he rolls over. Dang.
So yeah,
Shout out to Jason Tucker too.
damn. Yeah, they keep getting them, man. They just shut one down in Fort Worth.
Really?
A happy ending massage parlor. Is it called.
Swedish massage, sir.
Yeah. So the services. I actually had that on my list to talk about. Was the services introduces Airbnb services? I'm not sure.
Here's my thing with that, man.
Go ahead.
So going to one of those massage, but not saying I do. I don't know anybody that does. You know, I've heard people that do go to those places, but it's for disgruntled dudes that can't really get that stuff too often. It's a cheat code. He's getting serviced. They're getting paid. He's happy. I don't see a problem with it, but now you're taking those away from these disgruntled dudes, and this is Texas. There's a lot of freaking guns here. Why would you not want happy dudes being happy? Undisgruntled.
I don't even know. I'm gonna be real. I don't even know if them dudes be disgruntled, bro. I think some people just some freaks, according to the Diddy freak off. But I mean,
but if you got to go pay for that, you're probably not getting it on the regular. Well,
that could be okay. I'll tell you about a friend. This is a real friend.
Okay,
he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen to the show. I hope.
I got the tea.
I won't even. I ain't even gonna say his name. I guess when he hears this story, he'll know who he's talking. We're talking about it. So I got this friend. He used to always get caught cheating. Right, that was his thing, and he just couldn't stay faithful to his girlfriend. And like, he would like go and always get these massages. He never came out and said what he was doing up in these massage parlors. But now after the Deshaun Watson thing, I'm like, that's what dude was doing. Like they say, it's like a code word when you walk in there. You say a code word to see if they do it or don't do it. And if they agree to the code word, you walk back there, get a massage, and I have special ending. But I have a friend like that, bro. He would stay in the massage parlors, but I'm like, you need a massage every week? And you know, like, damn. But now I'm older. I get it. I'm like, oh, hell no, man. I ain't about to be paying for it that much. Yeah, man. And then they have we had this other friend. What did she call it? She was she said she used to be she was the one who did it, but they called them something. I was like, what? Like, I don't know what they call them, but she said they call her something. I forgot the name, bro. Basically, she said she gives happy endings. And I'm like, oh, she used to give happy endings. We were like, that's a real thing? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, damn. It's a whole underground cheat code world I didn't know about.
Literal cheat.
Yeah, them cheat codes for real. Like, I was just like, hey, that's what people do, man. Basically, I ain't gonna lie. It's a cheat code to set up a prostitution ring outside of in a massage parlor. That was a genius idea.
Yeah. I guess so. I guess, or a house in Plano.
or a house with tunnels in LA.
Dang. Folks
But,
gonna get their freak on, man. How, Micah? Folks are gonna get
speaking
their
of that, man, I have to bring this up, man. I have to bring this up. This has just been on my mind. Like I've been watching all these Diddy memes and stuff, and like listening to the Diddy case. Speaking of cheat codes,
Oh man.
and I'm just like, okay, I'm hearing all this, but I'm like, and I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, like, what did he do that was illegal? It's like all these people signed up for this shit. What the fuck did he do illegal, bro?
It's called the freak off. You know the drill. You know what you're getting into.
What's the criminal charge? I'm like, the dude's a freak. I get it. He's a freaky ass dude, but like, what's his criminal charge? Is it like sex trafficking? Because then like the sex trafficking thing was he's just flying these people out. But I'm like, is that sex trafficking? But I don't know.
That's the thing. I told my buddy about this. I was like, sex trafficking is like some unmarked van going across the border with a whole bunch of, people in it, or to do that stuff, not flying some hose and some with caviar and champagne in a private jet. Sorry.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I'm saying, like I'm like, what did this dude do? I'm like hearing the case and it's just getting worse and worse. But then I'm like, hold on, legally wise, what is he being charged for? I have to look up the case.
Technically,
I need to look it up.
By the book, I guess you're going across what's it called? Going across the state lines with hose. I guess that's for the intent to have sex. So I guess by the book, yeah, but you're caviar and champagne the whole way in a private jet. Come on, come on. I mean, whatever. We're getting into trouble on this show, but
it's gonna be some Instagram models going out of business if that's the case, bro. Because that's been going on for years, flying people out. All right, let's get back to the subject, man. I'm sorry.
that was P. Diddy's cheat code.
Yeah, that was P. Diddy's cheat code. Just don't do it in your Airbnbs in Plano, because it did happen. So yeah, I just
sorry, soccer moms, if you change the channel, it's all good.
Yeah, I was listening to the case and I was just like, what did he do illegal? But yeah, I got you. So back to it, Chico.
Let's get back on the rails here. Okay. One thing as we try to transition, your homie, the one you hung out with, Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about how his book influenced everybody. But one of the things I heard him say on one of those shows he hopped, I think it was like Oprah a long time ago or something, and I heard about his book and I saw him on there, and he goes, everybody's talking about, oh, to be successful, you got to climb the corporate ladder. He goes, I'm saying go own the ladder, and I was like, that makes sense, in a simplified way. People bust their ass to try to get that promotion, to try to get to the top, try to get the next mid management, upper mid man, go all the way. Why don't you just own the whole ladder yourself?
Straight up. This is the truth. Like, because this is how it is. I've been listening to a lot of Brandon Turner. You have to choose your heart in life, right? You could choose to climb that corporate ladder, or you can try to spend that time trying to own the ladder. Mm-hmm. The payoff, whatever it is, the hard is going to be there. But how I look at it is, it is hard to build that. But in today's society, it goes back to what we just talked about. It's kind of easier to do it because there's so many tools out there where you could work the corporate job and still be building something on your own. You know what I mean? Climbing the corporate ladder is cool and all. I always tell people, do your best at whatever it is that you do. Like right now, I'm studying for a certification for corporate, but I'm also studying for my real estate license after that. So it's always a balancing act with me. I'm always doing kind of two things at once. So yeah, it is, man. Choose your hard. Both of them are hard. Straight up. That's my new quote. Choose your hard. I need a t-shirt that says that.
Yeah, you can get one from Deshaun Watson. No, don't use a t-shirt from him. Never mind. Never mind.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, homie got paid.
Yeah.
A lot of money, a lot of guaranteed money.
Woo.
So you take it a step further. You met Kiyosaki. You said you hung out with him. He was a character.
Yeah.
Right?
Kiyosaki likes women. I'll tell you that, bro. Kiyosaki likes young women, bro. I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like he was he was loaded too, man. I mean, like, yeah, he was he was loaded. I was like, dang, bro. He was like if a dude come up and talk, ask him for a picture, be like, hurry up, hurry up. Girls come up, he's like,
Hey.
hey, yeah. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I see what you're doing, Robert. Yeah, he was cool dude though. Cool dude. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw you took that picture. Y'all partying in the street with him or something like that. Y'all are out in Dallas.
He has very much a, how would I say this? He rubs people the wrong way. I'll say that. A lot of people the wrong way. Like even he rubs Brandon Turner talks about it a little bit, but like the stuff Brandon Turner says, I realized that when I hung out with him, I was like, yeah, dude's like, yeah, he has some he's very opinionated and he older, so he's very
senile,
very,
little.
not senile, rigid. He's like very rigid. Like, hey, this is the way. You know what I mean? Once you get older, you get kind of rigid. But yeah, he likes women though. I mean, ain't nobody walking past and he ain't noticing. I'll say that.
And he likes to party.
Hey, yeah, he was throwing them back. But yeah, he's a character. He's not like the character in the book. He's not what you would expect from the book. I'll say that.
Because he allegedly didn't write the book. But anyways, that's his cheat code.
Of course not.
He took credit for it and became, a rich dude from it. Yeah. Apparently, allegedly, he's getting sued. But, who knows what's the truth if this lady actually wrote it and not him. But, oh well, the rest is history. The book inspired a lot of us to go out and find our own cheat codes.
Speaking of cheat codes, my bookshelf's a cheat code. I like that. That's a good one. My bookshelf. I have a lot of good stuff on there. A lot of good stuff.
That's good. I was thinking of something from the book, and he mentioned, and going back to the book, whoever wrote the book, maybe Kiyosaki wrote it or whatever. He mentioned like his, the book is very vague. It does have a lot of inspirational, entrepreneurial stuff in it, but it's very vague. Like, okay, Robert, how do I go out and start buying these houses? He didn't really explain that too much, but he did explain. He did say one thing one time. His wife wanted a Mercedes. Yeah. He goes, okay, instead of buying you a Mercedes, we're going to go buy you a house. And then from that, profits from that house, it's going to pay for your Mercedes.
Yeah.
So that was his cheat code. And that makes sense if you can accomplish that, But yeah, go out and hopefully that house profits and all that stuff. There's a lot more that goes into it. But that's the idea. Grab an asset that's going to pay for your liability.
Straight up. And I'm happy you brought that up about like Rich Dad Poor Dad is very vague. And that's why I tell people Rich Dad Poor Dad ingrains the mindset. I remember one time we were podcasting and you were like, man, once you have that mindset, it's hard to turn it off. You just can't turn it off, right? You're always looking for opportunity because you see a bigger picture of things. And it does. It sets the mindset, but it's vague. I'm like, but if you want like the nitty gritty, his better book is actually Cash Flow Quadrant. Cash Flow Quadrant is the better book, but you need the mindset of Rich Dad Poor Dad to get and understand Cash Flow Quadrant, because that's why I always tell people things always start with mindset. So my mentor, how you just talked about the car thing, that's how my mentor is able to talk his wife into letting him get it like a not a Corvette, like a Ferrari. It's like, well, we better close on X amount of doors, then you can get your Ferrari or this. So then it's like a balancing act. Like I can get what I want, I just have to hustle for it. So yeah, that is a good way to do it. Yeah. And you have an accountability partner and it's something you want at the end of the rainbow. So you're hustling for like a destination. You know what I mean? So then you're not just hustling off of like your pure motivation. You know what's coming at the end.
Right. And that's a weird thing, man. I've always blinked at buying, let's say a $30,000 car, right? I'm like, that's a lot of money, right? Now that ain't too much money, but I've always, it's still, to me, I still, it is a lot of money. But now, you're looking at 50,000 plus for not even a fancy car, but it's a good car, 50,000 plus, whatever. And then with the tariffs coming, who knows how much they're going to be now. But anyways, I digress. But I've never, ever cringed at wiring over $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to buy a house. I've always thought, no, this is, I never blinked. Okay, well, how much do y'all need? How much the down payment? Okay, boom, it's wiring it over, signing the paperwork. Now I own a house. Because to me, it's not like I'm buying a liability that's gonna just it's gonna just shrink in value, right?
Yeah.
Just drop. To me, I'm not giving somebody $50,000. I'm transferring that $50,000 into a bank in the form of a house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm putting that money and it's sitting in there in that house and it's gonna grow. And in the future, I can pull that same $50,000 back out. It doesn't disappear. It just grows.
Yeah. That's the difference, is because you're you're financially literate. That's what it is. Like most people, man, I'll tell you, my cousin, he works at a car dealership, and my other cousin was like, she's a girl. I'm not saying this is about boys, girls, whatever, but she's a girl. And she was like looking for a car. My mom told her, hey man, go up here to such and such. Cuzzo works up here, hook you up. Man, that girl drove off the parking lot, brand new car, $1,200 payment,
Oh my God.
17% interest. Bro, what are you doing? He was like, oh man, I thought she knew what she was signing.
He just knocked her head clean off, man.
Bro, like, can't even trust your own family out here, man. Trust your God dang, bro. But like at that point though, but that just shows you the financial literacy piece, right? You got to know what you're signing up for. Like, oh man, this just goes back into like the little video I just seen on Instagram. The lady who brought the $100,000 BMW, whatever it was, it's $100,000 BMW. It's this nice little BMW truck, but it's $100,000. Her payment on it's $1,999, basically $2,000 a month. She's been paying on it for I think 5 years. She goes, I logged in the other day and I'm pissed. My payments ain't even going towards the car. It's been all these interest payments, right? I'm like, where'd you think it was going? I'm like, first off, and this goes back to the financial literacy piece. Why would you buy a car, $100,000 car, and it ain't over 6,000 pounds? You ain't getting no tax write-offs on it. You just got a $100,000 pot of piss that's just draining money just to look good. Man, get the hell out of here, man. It's people's mindset. Like, I'm the same way. I'm about to, like, once I close on this duplex, I'm about to wire that $77,000 over. I don't give a damn. Boom. Have it. You know what I'm saying? People don't think like that, man. They want to, they want to look good, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
Man. Yeah, people got it reversed. They spend all their money on liabilities and no money on assets.
None. They say that's risky, but not having a $1,000-something car note ain't crazy. And then to top it off, it's funny you talk about cars, because I'm gonna have to be having to look for one, because I got 2 cars over 100,000 miles, and I'm like, man, I gotta have a little car on the side. But I always buy mine from the Hertz car sales. And I'm thinking about a Tesla, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna see.
Are you gonna buy a new Tesla or a used Tesla?
Used. I ain't buying nothing new. Like, I don't even like spending. Like, the most I've ever spent on a car was $20,000.
Now
Most
they do.
ever.
Okay. Now they do say that you shouldn't buy used electric cars because those things really go down in value, because it's all about the battery in those Teslas. So you're gonna get a battery that's 50% as good as it was when it was first bought. It's just, and then replacing those things is expensive as hell. And so I would say used cars all the way with any type of car, except I just hear you shouldn't do it with electric cars.
I've been hearing that too, bro. That's why I was like, I'm gonna just get me another Kia.
Yeah.
Because them things been lasting me a long. I'm really thinking about getting a Honda, because those last forever. Which my Kia and my truck are running fine, but it's like you have 2 cars over 100K miles. Pass one off to the kids. But because cars are expensive as hell, and I watch people just go buy cars, and like soon as they have one car paid off, they just go buy another one. I'm like, damn, dog, y'all crazy.
I see. No, that ain't the norm. As soon as that car's still underwater, they're trying to look for another one and trying to get them to take that one off their hands. And it's just,
people are crazy, bro.
They don't wait till it's paid off, man.
That's
they don't wait till it's paid off.
I mean, unless you just got it like that. But then I hear people who have 2 car notes complaining about the presidency. I'm like, bro, look at your own life decisions, fam. Like, bro, look at your life decisions. What the president got to do with that? But hey, I'd be like, yo, but hey, Easy to point blame, but go ahead.
That brings me back to like a major cheat code, and we kind of talked about it, but a mortgage, that's a huge cheat code because you're getting someone to put 80% down on a house that you're buying. You have to, I mean, let's say you're buying a rental house, right? So
Mhm.
20% down, you have to put 20% down to buy this asset. Let's just say it's a $500,000 house, right? And then so Freddie and Freddie and Fannie are going to put the other 80% down. And you own the house. You're getting that much leverage behind purchasing this house, right? Whereas, okay, the regular run of the mill, go to a job, you know, to let the government or take a chunk out of your earnings to go into your 401k or your IRA, which is still important, right? But
Yeah.
you're not getting backed by any leverage in that deal, right?
No.
I'll say maybe 401k because some of them do the match up to 10% or something like that, 5%, 10%. So you
Yeah.
might get a little bit, you get a bump on that. But for the most part, you're not getting no 80%. Let's say I'm going to buy 20%. I'm going to buy, 100,000 bucks in stocks. I put 20,000 down and my company puts 80% down. No, it don't work like that, right? You don't get that leverage. But in buying with the mortgage, buying a house, you get that 80% leverage.
Yeah. That
Purchase
is a
that
cheat code.
house. It's a
That's a
huge
cheat
cheat
code.
code.
Straight up. And
Yeah.
then even like that goes back to the house hacking thing to me.
And
Shit. I mean, if imagine if you're not paying it at all, you're living for free. It's yeah, mortgages are a huge cheat code. Cause like I just seen Dallas, Dallas is the most Dallas just became number one for the most expensive city to live in Texas. We
damn,
just passed Austin.
dang, well, yeah.
I dang, I wanted to talk about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, we just passed Austin. I was like, oh snap. So I will tell you, if you buying in the DFW, your value is gonna go up. So I am about to do some flips down here in this Mansfield area because yeah, your value is gonna go up because there's too many people moving here, man. Yeah, it's
Still.
just packed. Yeah, still. Woo.
Yeah. So that's another cheat code. I complaining you live in California, you're complaining about, taxes, crime, pollution, move your ass to Dallas. Move your ass to Texas.
Yeah.
That's a cheat code.
Actually, no, don't come down here. I'm playing. I'm playing.
You're renting
I'm playing.
one of our homes until you find your dream home.
There you go. You can use one of our midterms. But nah, yeah. I mean, yeah, for real. Like that's another cheat code. You can move because a lot of people they sit still, complain about where they're at. Move somewhere else. Try something else. See what's out. See what else is out there.
Here's a cheat code. And it takes me back. I think you talked about this a long time ago, but I still incorporate this whenever I'm setting up Airbnb or corporate rental, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I told you about that Euless house a few weeks ago, and so now what do? I go and list it day one on on Zillow,
Yeah.
empty. It don't have nothing in it, but I put
Yeah.
it at a corporate rental price, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put it at 4,500 a month. It just a small house, but it's in a good area. And so I put out 4,500 a month, and I was looking, and I started shopping it around on the corporate sites, and I was, because my mortgage is going to be around 2,500 bucks. I was like, that's a good enough spread to get to start out, and so I make maybe make probably clear $1,000 or more profit each month if I got someone right away.
Yeah.
Now I am gonna furnish it, design it, furnish it, and make it pretty, and I'll get the professional
Yeah.
photos. But as far as right now, and I was using the same professional photos that whoever sold the house to me had on file, right? We just
Yeah.
copied and pasted those, and so I just as soon as I bought it, I put it back on Zillow. And then as soon as they took their Zillow down, I put mine up and then I have it rented out for 4,500 a month. And of course,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm going to bring that price up eventually. But all that being said, one real quick caveat in that story. So the guy
Yeah.
I got reached out, an agent reached out to me on Zillow, and he said, "Hey, Steve, you're the one that bought this house from my client. I'm the agent representing the client. I noticed that you're using my same photos." And I was like, yeah, well, they were the photos in the Zillow. I just, I'm just using it for the time being. He goes, oh, well, according to the real estate, blah, 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 you cannot use someone else's photos without paying them for them or this and that. He was asking for some money. I think, whatever it was, $150 or something like that for that he paid for him. That's fine. I can understand that. Whatever. I wouldn't give a crap if I sold a house. You can use those damn photos. I don't give a shit. But apparently he quoted some freaking laws or rules. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I was like, well, he goes, I'm gonna furnish it. It's gonna be a corporate house, corporate rental anyways. He asked me, I saw the price that you put on there. You put 4,500 for this house, We had it for rent before that for like 2,300. My daughter, hey baby. and I said, and they said, he goes, is that a typo? Did you mean to put that price? I said, yeah, it's gonna be a corporate rental, baby love. Okay, go over there. Go over there. You go over there. And I'll be there in a minute. Y'all go over there. And it's like, is that a typo? And I was like, no, it's gonna be a corporate rental. And I plan to make at least that much. He goes, oh, okay. I said, and I'll take professional photos as soon as I get it furnished. I'm working on that. He's like, oh, okay. Okay, that's cool, man. You know what? Go ahead and use the photos until you get it furnished, because I know you're gonna take more photos. I said, oh, cool. Thank you. And so that being said, I already had 2 tours, and someone toured it today, and they pretty much, it seems like, and they're just waiting for the green light from the insurance company, for the adjuster to approve it 100%. But it doesn't have a stitch of furniture in it yet. I have furniture in the garage, right? And but it doesn't have, I haven't, totally furnished it yet. But they toured it today and they liked it. Yeah. And they're gonna want to go ahead and rent it for a few months at that price. And that takes me to the cheat code we were talking about. You told me this a long time ago. You always listed Airbnbs or whatever before you furnished them. And you even put the little furniture coming soon, or you did something like that, right?
Yeah. I used to put coming soon on there, and then just to have it out there. I need to do that with the duplex. You know what? I'm gonna do it with the duplex unfurnished and see if I can rent to insurance clients unfurnished. Because that's my next goal. See if that'll work. Because that is a good cheat code, man. Having those, go ahead and get them listed.
Here's the cool cheat code, because you imagine. You get like a $4,000 what's it called? Deposit. $4,000 first month's rent. You get the cleaning fee. You get all that stuff up front a lot of times. Furnish it, and you use that money to furnish it, man. And and once you learn this stuff, like you said, like my buddy Warren says, once you put the glasses on, you'll see things totally different. But you cannot put the glasses on anyone else. He said so, it goes something like that. They can't see what you see. But once everybody's talking about, start a business, you need all this money, you need no, you can do it, and then with the money you're gonna make, you can actually use the future money to buy the furniture.
Straight up, man. You have to look at so many ways to skin a cat, as you say. So many ways to skin a cat. But you have to be able to. It starts by doing. You have to do. Once you start doing stuff, a lot of stuff will come to you, man.
And my, I mean, we could talk so many examples, right? But like my as my kids play behind me, but
go ahead, they're good.
But like let's say for example, my brother, I not to harp on my brother, but he makes these cool ass. He likes to do these cool ass wallets and this cool. He likes to work with leather and do all these cool different things, right? He can make a purse. He can make like all handcrafted stuff, right? I was like, dude, why don't you, you're off. You're on an unemployment. Why aren't you selling this stuff? Well, I can't make a whole bunch at a time. I could probably make 5 in one day or this and that. And he goes, well, why don't you put it online, or he's talking about Etsy store or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what if I get a huge order? There's no way I could. So you could put a cap on how much people could order. I said, plus you could do pre-order. People can send you money for stuff that you haven't even made yet. That's how a lot of businesses work. You don't have to have all this.
That's all it works, bro. He's talking about See, this is a problem. A lot of entrepreneurs go through this. They go through the whole, okay, what if this happens? If it does happen, it sounds like you got a good problem. Like, that's not a bad problem to have. Like, what if they order 100 wallets? You mean to tell me you're not going to make money because you're afraid to make money? That don't even make sense. That's what I tell people, man. Take the shackles off, bro. That's a good problem to have. You want 100 orders. Then because what happens is once you're up against that 100 order wall, your mind's going to start thinking, okay, I can only make 5 in a day. Okay, Maybe I can get on Alibaba and have them make some, ship it somewhere, and start. That's what happens. You have to go through those things. Me and Mahogany were just having a conversation about that. Like, we always think of the hard stuff, and we think of it, and it puts us like in this analysis paralysis instead of, okay, go for it. And he might not ever get 100 orders. He might get 500. Then you're at a problem that you need to have so to develop your mind and grow. And that's what the people don't realize. They're afraid of it. He's sitting, see, and that's the thing. Everyone has a skill. Everyone has a skill. Like, think of the person who made those damn Ridge wallets that are so big and popular now. He started out with an idea, man, and he made those Ridge wallets. Those are the big thing right now. People are ditching wallets for Ridge wallets, and he can maybe bring wallets back. Man, you got to try something.
That, and to take it a step further, and I mentioned this because I was talking to him. I was like, the crazy part is if you that might be going back to the Ridge wallet. I said, you don't even have to have a whole bunch of inventory. You don't even have to have a handful of inventory. You can make one prototype, go and do a Kickstarter or one of those sites, and then you could go out there and say, hey, I'm making this cool thing. If you believe in this product and I need to reach a goal of $10,000 to mass produce this thing, and then whoever invested in it or whoever sent me money towards this goal, they're going to get one of these wallets or they're going to get one of these things, right? I said, that's they're getting money before they start on their project or even a movie. I need $100,000 to make this movie, and whoever, pitched in is going to get a copy of the movie and a signed thing or whatever. It's like the cart before the horse, right? As they say. And so you don't have to go save up all this money, get all these business loans and all this crazy crap and, get these business cards. The fuck the business card gonna do? Sorry. It's like you're playing business, right? But there's so many ways to make a buck without spending a buck.
Yeah. Straight up, man. Yeah, you can Kickstarter. I forgot about that. You could Kickstarter, man. He's going through what does she always say? This lady who comes to my real estate meetup. She says this. She goes, because this guy kept asking questions. He kept asking Gary. She goes, you're future tripping. You're looking at the future and looking at something you can trip over, and you're not putting forth the effort. And you're not getting anywhere because you're just not putting forth the effort because you're stuck in analysis paralysis instead of just going for it, man. Go for it so you can learn. I'm telling you, the biggest thing you can do is chase your dreams, and you're going to learn a whole lot You're going to learn a whole lot on that race. It's a marathon, like Nipsey said, man. Straight up. It's a marathon. But if you ain't getting in, then you're just sitting on the sideline depressed.
One thing that as I'm looking at these owner finance homes, and we could talk forever, but we'll start wrapping it up soon, especially because my kids keep breaking into my room. But and so one thing that sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You said something about owner finance homes.
Owner finance homes. So one thing I'm seeing is like, okay, we reach out to a few, and I got my agent. Another cheat code: get you an agent that's gonna put all this stuff all neat and pretty for you, and research it and all that stuff, and you can just look at it. And so one thing that we are getting some kind of pushback from these people that want to sell their houses, that they're having trouble selling. They say, well, okay, we'll carry, owner finance, whatever the lingo is, right?
Yeah.
And so one thing that I am seeing is like, well, 20% down. I'm like, well, why 20% down? It's just everybody thinks of rental homes and they think of 20% down, right? Yeah. And owner finance, they just think that they're okay. I'm going to be the bank. That's what banks ask for. Banks ask for 20% down. So I'm going to ask for. I'm like, well, can we adjust things? Is the rate negotiable? Is the price negotiable? Is the down payment negotiable? You got three things to negotiate, right?
Yeah.
Price of the house, the interest rate I'm going to pay you, and then the down payment. And I was like, well, how about this? You want to charge 5% interest. How about I pay you 6% interest, but I take that 20,000 or that, let's say $40,000 payment. I take that down to 20,000. I'm getting people saying, but and you're buying it as a rental house, right? And so yeah, it's like, well, that'll make the payment this, and then you won't be able to make the payment as a rental house. I was like, well, that's for me to worry about. Kind of like, I know what I'm doing. You're worried about me, as a rental house, so my payment's going to be, let's say, $2,500 a month, but you can only get $2,200 a month in that area for a rental house. They're thinking only long-term rental, right? I'm thinking of short-term and corporate. I want to get
Yeah.
5 or 6,000 a month, whatever. Anyways, to them, I'm like, that's the kind of resistance that I'm seeing is like, well, first of all, they think of it like how traditional bank asks for whatever 20% down, but they're thinking about me. It's like, oh, but will you be able to make a profit at that monthly payment? And I'm like, and to me, I'm like, don't worry about me. I know what I'm doing, right? I
Yeah.
know I can at
I
least
got
break
you.
it.
Yeah.
But people have that mindset. Okay, it has to be like this. You have to do it the way the bank does, and then your monthly payment has to be this, and you have to put 20% down. And so, but they're not seeing it how we're thinking it.
Yeah.
I can get a house today. I'm fairly confident if it's in the right area and I can do short term and midterm there, then I know I could pay 3,500 a month, and I know I'm gonna profit still. I
Yeah.
know that. I mean, you could
Yeah.
put that on my lap, and I'm like, and people are like, "Oh, I'm scared. I'm terrified. How am I gonna?" No, I'm not. For some reason,
Yeah.
well, because we've
You
been
know
doing
what
it
you're
for so
doing.
long, we're not afraid of that scenario.
Yeah.
We're like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, and also, I think they're more concerned because they're the bank. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you default, they're like, "Oh, damn, I got to take this damn house back." But they don't see those. Like you said, your friend said they don't have your glasses.
Now that makes me think about, like, yeah, they're afraid that if I fail, that then I'm not gonna meet the payments. To me, I'm like, well, that's good for you because I just paid you freaking $20,000, and you're gonna take the house back after a couple months, and you're gonna get the house again with my $20,000. So I don't understand what your holdup is, but I think genuinely some of them are like, well, you might not profit, you might fail. They're like, you need to get it
Yeah.
you need to get it at this
Yeah.
mortgage amount so you can at least make break even.
They see it at their spectacles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And so to me, like I said, I mean, if I got $40,000 from somebody and they default after the first payment, hey, I get my house back and I get to keep all that money, right?
Yeah. That's the way to look at it for sure. Yeah, they ain't looking at it like that. They might, but at the same time, they might go take that 20,000, go reinvest it, and just banking on you to, banking on you to make that payment for the long term.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's an interesting one. Because I just ran into one, kind of possibly. So this guy has no equity. He's out in Fort Worth. That's why I sent you the text. This guy has no equity. He's out in Fort Worth, but he had to move. His job is paying him to move, but they're like, hey, if you have to sell your house, we'll cover the closing costs. So like he'll only profit like $5,000 off the house, even after closing costs. And he's like, but he can't sell it. He had it sitting on market. He can't sell it. And I was like, hey man, I'll probably be interested in it just to try to get information to see, like maybe he want to own or finance it. But I was looking. Fort Worth has extremely strict, really weird STR laws. Have you been operating over there?
Now, there are zones where you can do short-term rentals,
Okay.
right? And most of it's pretty much all multifamily.
Damn.
Apartments, duplexes, triplexes, quads, all that stuff. I believe it's still, you can't do it. You're not legally allowed to do it out of single family homes. A shit ton of people do it, but you're
That's what I
not
was gonna
allowed
ask you.
to. You're not allowed to.
That's because I didn't even go look, right. I didn't even go on Airbnb or look or nothing. I was just like, because I just chat GPT'd it. They were like, hey, you can't do it. He goes, these are the areas you can do it in, but you can't do it at a single family home. So I was like, ah. So I guess this kind of leads back into my question of risk tolerance, right? Because I noticed you said if it doesn't cash flow long term, you'll still take the deal because you're going to depend on the corporate and long term, corporate or midterm. Are you to the point yet to where you're just like, forget it, I'll just take the deal even if it doesn't cash flow long term?
You know, I am.
Okay.
If it's a good house that I see in a good area that's going to appreciate, I will take a free house and break even or lose a little bit of money. To me, it's still a free house,
Yeah.
and I might be losing a couple $100 a month on it, but that's just I'm gaining so much equity.
Yeah.
Especially mid cities. I like the mid cities because
Okay.
you can't really build a lot more houses here, and it's a sought after area, right?
Yeah. How much equity? How fast is your equity going up around here? Because I only have this house here. My equity's gone up since 2015. 10 years. Have I doubled? Yeah, I've doubled in value in
Probably
10
doubled.
years.
Yeah,
I've doubled. Yeah, so I've
same
doubled.
thing.
Yeah,
Same
I've
thing with
doubled.
me. But I mean, not like that's gonna go on forever. But
It's hard to see the dead end on that though, right?
yeah,
Unless we have like a straight up market crash, because at this point right now you have so many people moving here. If you look at the houses, bro, there's not enough housing. If you want to buy a house nowadays, you're gonna have to go outside the city. You're gonna go like we live in the city. We technically live in the city. You live in Fort Worth. I live in Arlington. We're technically in the city. You have to go start going out to like Crowley and stuff to get it like a house. So it's like there's if you want to live in the city, it's just gonna always be room to make money.
let's say drive till you can afford it.
Basically, at this point, I think, and I think that's the market of DFW now, right? You have to drive till you can afford it. Because, I mean, in the city, bro, like we bought at good times. Like we have a lot of equity in our house. We can't miss right now. So yeah, I don't see the housing market going down. It's just not enough affordable housing. So
I'll say that. And then another thing that helps us is they keep printing trillions more dollars every year, so it keeps making the money worth less and less. So of course it's not going to drop because the dollar keeps getting worth less and less every year.
yeah, that too. And then
look, that ain't going to ever stop because they can't pay their bills as it is. The government can't pay their bills as it is, so they're going to print more money to pay the bills, which makes more inflation.
And also to top that off, I think it comes down to if they don't cash flow long term, that means our market rents aren't keeping up with the housing prices. Now that's something I would really worry about. I think that's where pad split comes in and ADUs. Because right now, if rent can't keep up, long-term rent can't keep up with the housing prices, man, it's ugly.
That's a good point right there. Lots of things to ponder, but it's been a long show, been a great show. It's always great hopping on with you, man. And I got like a ghost opening my door behind me every 5 seconds. But we powered through. Man. We powered through. And there's my daughter again. Say hi, Lucy. She says hello. Okay. And she's got a bunch of stuff in her hands. So been a fun episode. We covered a lot. Cheat codes. There's a lot of cheat codes in life. Now, I'm not saying shortcuts, but there are cheat codes.
Yes, sir. Cheat codes. That's what gets you ahead, but you got to get in the game to get the cheat code.
Or you got to know someone that has the cheat code.
There you go. But you got to get in the game to use the cheat code, too.
You got to put your quarter in the machine, man.
Straight up. I like that. You got to put your quarter in the machine, man.
Where can people find us, Myka, man?
Find us on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We always post it on there. LinkedIn. Send us an email, liveletthrive@gmail.com. Thank y'all for listening, and we are out.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.